Huh. Here, let me... Yeah, let me... post a link.
Let me save this.
I kind of missed the fact that when we first started doing these streams, like we always do that, like post that Bill O'Reilly gif.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Hey, was that you texting me in the DMs, or who was that? Someone else? Is that one of your? Because he asked for my GT, I was like, wait, isn't this?
oh yeah,
I thought
MNN.
this was fucking.
I thought your GT was
Oh, that
still
was
the
MNN.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, DMs on Twitter.
Yeah, DMs on Twitter. Because he asked for my
Yeah,
game
I
tag,
asked
so
for
I was
your-
like,
yeah, I asked for your
isn't
GT.
this fucking? Oh, that was you. Okay.
How the fuck you not know? You not see the fucking name?
Well, there's two of you. It's either you or him. It's not.
Who the hell? What do you mean
You
two?
both- Isn't there two people that run MNN, right?
The chief editor, but I'm mostly the one doing the work. I just run shit by the editor, just like get his little take on it.
Oh, thank God, Jonesy's here.
Alright, let me make this party invite only.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a fucking interview.
Miller's gonna get triggered.
Yes, he is. And that's why it's good. I like triggering Miller. Fuck Miller.
Okay, now everyone can hear
All right.
me.
So I guess the points that we're going to talk about today, just I don't know if we're going yet or not. I'm just giving you like a little rough draft.
Before we start talking about points and shit, let's go ahead and just go ahead and introduce yourselves. Wait, Jones,
Oh, it's
you
already
got your,
started. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jones, you got your audio included, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
should. Yeah.
Jones, we'll start. You just go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Jonze 54. Yeah, I'm not part of the 123rd anymore, but you know, I
Who's your
started
old
the
friend
revolt
is
kind
what
of.
it is.
Oh, it was a. I actually don't really remember. It was an O2 first lieutenant. That's what I recall.
Yeah.
I was the first lieutenant.
And I was the political position of the Kaiser, which was the old CO of the 123rd, the rightful claim to its heir, or some shit like that. I don't know, some inspiring shit. Yeah, I used to be the old CO, but they was back in, and then they called me the Kaiser still. So it was kind of weird what my position was. I wasn't even sure of it myself.
Alright, now, gentlemen, quite a bit. The past week, there's been like kind of a. I would say, someone kicked the freaking bee's nest or some shit when it comes to 123rd. What happened? Like, what caused both of you to leave 123rd?
I think I'll start on this part, and then I'll let Jonesy go in onto his part and his views of everything. But I'll start with mine. Basically, this has been going on ever since I came back, and what was happening in the unit was 3 people. So we have Miller, we have Blazing, and we have me. Miller, after I left, which was in a 1-month period, Blazing decided, I put Blazing as a CO because he was competent back then. He not anymore, but he was competent back then. He immediately had a good XO, and he threw that out of the door. He didn't really know what he's doing, so he decided, oh, I just want a friend in power position with me, right? So he took Miller. Miller is one of those people that is extremely hyper aggressive. They also have anger issues. So you get him mad, then he's got a fucking just grudge against you, and he has literally no professional bone in his body. But he puts him as XO, and what ends up happening is Miller pushes around Blazing. Blazing is so passive that he just he doesn't fucking do anything about it. He doesn't make a stand for himself or anything like that. He lets it all happen. And as this is happening, you know, fucking Miller just bosses him around, and then that just becomes the norm. Now I'm finally back in the picture. I put a little stability within the three, right? I keep Miller from getting too much on Blazing, and I keep Blazing from being too much of a fucking pussy. And then it just goes into these arguments after arguments after arguments, getting worse and worse and worse as things went. And to the point where I wasn't even allowed to be internal, right? So they excluded me from internals for a while. And I was like, fine, whatever. And I was only external at this time. So a few good months passed, and then I'm like, hey, I want to be internal again. Which was meaning, like, working with the men, right? Not. So I start being internal again, and I start up this JNCO trainings. For the first 2 weeks, it's pretty good. It's pretty easy. It goes nicely. I'm able to teach them things, and I'm able to... Even Jonze was there for the internal training.
And they were, all the junior COs were actually saying that they was actually helping them. They're actually learning. They were getting better. Yeah.
Because the reason why we started doing them is because we started losing lots and lots of battles. Something 123rd will never talk about is how many battles we lost against 27th. We used to not lose a lot because we would just outnumber them. But then they started using good tactics and growing their team. And all we were doing was mass infantry movements. Because that's all 123rd did. Is mass infantry movements. They didn't know how to use actual tactics. So I started teaching actual tactics using the hammer and anvil, for example. They had literally 90% of the guys did not know what a hammer and anvil was. So I taught it. And then we started using them and became way more effective. But that's me getting way too into it right now. But I was going through these tactics and whatnot, and then all of a sudden Miller comes back from his inactive spree, which he would go on every once in a while, which would last for a month or two, because he quote unquote didn't care about the unit, which he said to me in a party. But yeah, so that comes at, he starts coming into my trainings, undermining me, and simply just coming in and saying, no, you're wrong, that's not right, this doesn't work, using my tactics and just destroying them completely and destroying my practice. I would be open for discussion about changing my ways and my tactics and whatnot, but not during the training, making a whole argument in front of everybody. I would like it if they would actually come afterwards, which I had talks with them about. I said, okay, if you have any criticisms, tell me afterwards. But even if after I was telling them, it seemed that this never sunk into their mind because they're retarded. The most nicest way possible. So that goes on for a few weeks.
Jew? Or his controller cut off?
Is not sure.
I'm sorry about that. My mic just, like, I don't know what happened to it. Just, like, died. But where was I? I was where was I?
You're around. He undermined you. Jonze was like undermining you or some shit.
No, Jonze was not undermining me. It was Miller.
No.
Miller.
Oh, not Jonze.
Yeah. But anyway, so go on to that. It continues for a week, and Miller just keeps doing his thing, which is undermining and fucking having arguments with me in public. And then it starts to turn Blazing into something he's never turned into before, a stubborn asshole. And he does the same things, but this is during meetings, not necessarily trainings, because he doesn't care and he doesn't show up for those. So he starts doing it through meetings, because I was to be training and doing everything with the JNCOs because I wanted to make them better, because I hated seeing us lose. And obviously, during my meetings, Blazing would come in and start just saying, no, you're wrong about that. I'm like, no, I wasn't wrong. They weren't using that tactic. No, you're wrong. They were doing fine. But that's just an example of all the shit that would go down. And most of it was always just talks about tactics and whatnot. And it would just turn into a feud, a huge feud. Until one day I was just sick of it. And I said, fuck it, I'm done. I'm done with everybody. With Miller and Blazing. I love everybody else, but those two are the most cancerous people that I've ever met in Milsim, and I cannot deal with them anymore. So, as it turns out, I go into Telegraph. I type up a huge essay, which I believe I've shown you.
Yes.
Stank? Yeah. I go up and type that, and I put exactly why I left. Exactly the reasons why I'm leaving, including I'm also going to be dealing with some personal issues which I arose in the essay, and I simply put it as respectfully as possible in terms, and I said, I'm done with this. I'm done with Milsim, which I am. I've moved on to Halo 5 clan, so it's for some reason 5 times better than any Milsim I've ever been in, but anyways, I go on and I move on and I post it in the Telegraph. 5 minutes after leaving the Telegraph and leaving my own server, they immediately deleted it from the Telegraph, which instantly caused people to revolt. And people were reposting my whole entire essay in the chat room. Everyone was mad at Blazing and Miller. No one has respect for them anymore. All respect that they had for them is now gone because of all the shit that I've been dealing with because of them. I cared about the team, and they kept me from doing my job. I enjoyed teaching and watching people learn, and they kept me from doing my job. So, what do you expect people to do that have dealt with someone that they really like and have been their teacher and whatnot, and that's being treated like that? All they do is revolt. So what I did is I said, I'm going to Elite Dangerous, which I am right now. If you want to follow me there, I put a Discord link, and a ton of people followed me there, and everybody was just getting mad and everything. And I'll let Jonze go pick it up from there, because that part was his. Because after that, I was just done with Milsim, and I'm not talking to Blazing or Miller.
Alright, so I go now? No?
Yeah.
Woo!
Miller? Wow, you call me fucking cancer. That's what you just called me.
Well, rip.
Alright, so what... Alright, so... Once you left, I was like, alright, I actually have this screenshot and everything, wise. So basically what I said... I'm trying to look for it really quick. What I do remember saying is I said, wow, good job, Blazing and Miller, you made him leave. And Blazing said, because we told him to ask permission to post big...
Okay, his mic just cut out.
Controller dropped, sorry. Alright, so Blazing said because we told him to ask permission to post big announcement in the community chat. Don't know why he painted us as such bad guys. He did it just to spite us. Anyways, I said that's not what he told me. He told me that you guys wouldn't let him teach, and you guys always argued, which he said. And Blazing said, LMAO, pure lies. That's actually hilarious. What does he think we've been doing for the past however long with the junior NCOs and officers? If I recall, dude, when you were gone, nothing of that sort was happening, which was... that's a lie. I was there the whole entire time. And he said that emotional speech he gave serves only one purpose, and that's to turn everyone against each other. It's best we keep doing what we do best and carry on and achieve our goals. Next, what else? And he says yes because he blames us for a problem from everyone who was clogging the comms. How would you feel if you said the reason I'm leaving is because of Jonze, then left? Why would I be the reason? That's dumb. Then Miller said, you're honestly talking about something you don't fully understand. Apparently they had a side of their story where they basically apparently, Jew, you were doing like a raid or something with like a friendly raid, and apparently Blazing said apparently without his position you weren't able to do that, and that's their side of the story, and that's why that's why they said that you got mad.
Yeah, let me add on to that real quick, Jonesy.
Yeah.
So
Go for it.
their counter argument was for a long time was saying, we had an argument prior to me leaving, and this argument was they gave me permission to go ahead and find a friendly raid. They said make sure they're entire alliances, and make sure it's a friendly raid and whatnot. So I said okay. So I immediately go to the community chat. I say, Entente Alliance, what time would you be okay with having a friendly raid? And that was it. And then the Entente Alliance replied with just like, okay, this certain time, so-and-so. And then we're like, okay, sweet, friendly raid, awesome. I immediately got 2 messages from both Miller and Blazing saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? How dare you go behind our backs to do something like this? When I have actually gotten confirmation saying, yes, go ahead and find us a friendly raid. So I was immediately struck with, I'm done. I'm done with everything. So that's when I included anything. I didn't include that first engagement because it was minuscule into the whole entire bullshittery that I've been dealing with for the entire time that I've joined back. I'll let you continue, Jonesy.
Alright. And then I said, Drew told me everything there. And Blazing said, what did he say then? It's not like we made him leave because we one day. Drew's the one who recruited me to my first Milsim. Why would I of all people, want him gone? It doesn't seem like that way. Then Miller said, Drew was acting like he was in charge, which is something he fully gave up in the first time he left. And he fully agreed upon his return. Then out of nowhere, he said he is now in charge of the officers and junior COs, which we told him no. He started acting like the CO and was announcing raids and stuff without asking Blazing. We shot him down, so he left because we basically told him to chill. So no, you don't know everything, Jonesy. You just heard the side of the story. Raids and stuff in the community chat. And I already heard that. And then what else? Yeah, that's basically it. And then after that, I decided, Jew made his own service for, Elite Dangerous, and, there was a few people in there, and I said, let's revolt against the 123rd. So what I did is I gave all the, enlisted and junior NCOs the power of the administrator. One of them, Nova, has deleted, like, a lot of the chat rooms. Then he came back and, crying. Well, he didn't cry. That's what he said.
No, that was
Gren. That was Gren. Yeah, Gren. You see Gren. He's a N3, I believe now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. This is good stuff. That they gave people promotions to keep them inside the Milsim.
Yeah, that's true.
It used to be at 100 around there when we were in there.
It's now at 85 or something like that.
Yeah. Because people are done with their crap and leaving.
It went from 106 to 85. Also, I guess, not as impactful. But so afterwards, there was also commotion in the Empire as well. Because in the Empire, I strictly said, I'm leaving. I gave the reasons why and everything. And I said, the ownership of the Empire and Kaisership goes to Sub-Soldier, the CO of the 27th. As soon as I leave, Blazing goes and says, oh, go ahead and just give me the ownership of the server and the Kaiser role. And he said that to Sub-Soldier, which Sub-Soldier responded with no. And Blazing, of course, being the passive person he is, didn't say anything back. But yeah. So you have him trying to lie his way through and trying to get control of the server and control of the Kaisership, when my last royal decree, if you put it that way, was to give him the Kaisership. But yeah. So it's just been a rule of bullshit ever since. And with them trying to then afterwards put me as a traitor to the 123rd for telling the truth. Well, Jonesy, you did give them, as much as I think it's hilarious, and which I do, I think it's fucking hilarious.
Well, the reason I did is because I did it for you, because I thought this was bullshit, and I didn't feel like being part of it. I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna leave in a big bang.
I mean, Jonesy's not a traitor. He's just, obviously he did something wrong by giving everybody admin positions and letting people delete the chats. But it's he shouldn't be considered a traitor. He did not give information to the enemies that the enemies needed.
They first said I was manipulated. They first said I was manipulated, then now a traitor.
Yeah. But just quote unquote put me, the CO, the old CO of the unit, as a traitor to my own unit, which I made approximately almost 2 years ago. By the way, they have that date wrong. It's almost 2 years. It's already surpassed 1 year. But put that as quote unquote me a traitor is not only offensive, but it's utterly disgusting with the disrespectful shit that I've been dealing with. Especially from them. Even now, even though I'm not in Milsim anymore, it still disgusts me. It disgusts me what Blazing and Miller is doing. I think they're the worst fucking human beings on Earth. After everything I've been dealing with. And I just won't tolerate the shit anymore. And I'm just gonna spill the beans. Because, honestly, the shit that they've been getting away with and whatnot is not okay. It's not professional. It's nowhere near the type of respect I deserved. And how they care and whatnot about their own men as well is just disgusting. Which I will get into now, because we have a little thing about Miller. So I'm going to go ahead and send you a nice Miller picture. It's Miller time. Not only has Miller been disrespectful to other units, and multiple times, I don't even need the screenshot. You can simply just go and just look at all the antagonizing, the fucking name calling, everything he's done against. Of course, I'm legal of this, or not legal, but I'm known for being mean as well. But Miller, he has no professionalism, right? So when it comes to talking with Big Sack, for example, he just goes all out, simply just calling him names, fucking antagonizing him left and right. And it's sad. It's really sad, especially in such a fucking professional environment, which is the community chat. Now, in my own theory, if it's in PMs, I don't care. So, I mean, if he was just PMing the shit out of Big Sack and calling him names and whatnot, there I wouldn't give a shit. But it's the fact that it's in the middle of the community. He's saying it to literally everyone who he does not like, which includes these smaller units like 1MR, 1CD, 18th, all these smaller units that don't really have a chance against 123rd because 123rd has so many men. And he just makes a fool of himself, and he makes a fool of the Empire, especially now, since there's a lot of internal rifts in the Empire, and there might be a civil war coming. Who knows? But yeah, and also it's I was the only thing that was holding together the Empire when it comes to 123rd, since Blazing himself does not like the 27th. Neither does Miller. But enough about the Empire. I'll go ahead and send this to you now. Would you like?
Should we talk about that spy thing? That, you know.
Yeah, that'll be our last thing. So we have two examples of how, just to give you a good showing of how Miller treated his men while in 123rd.
Are you sending
and why people
line?
Yeah, I can post these on Twitter actually.
Whichever.
A little bit more salt on Twitter.
I'll do it on Twitter so everybody can see if anybody's watching right now. Actually,
Also, he did disrespect Jew when he said he was like inactive, like his phone was, you know, not like working or whatever. I took his place in the community chat, if you saw before.
Yeah, I seen it.
And then basically once he came back, he you know, actually before he came back with his phone, he said that if I take his place in the community chat, he doesn't want back in it because they're replacing me. When they're replacing him with me in the community chat, they even told him it was temporarily, and then was fucking getting angry and shit, and he started, you know, yelling at Jew and Blazing as well.
This was a normal occurrence for everybody. It was usually a three-way argument. No one was on either side. Everybody was against each other, and it was up to me to bring them together and stop them fighting and whatnot. So.
And
yeah,
Miller said that he has no care for the unit because when I took his spot in the community chat, which was pretty childish, to be honest, and it was said to him it would be temporary. Once he get his phones back, he would be back in it, which he did.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous.
But so if you look in your DMs right now, Milsim News Network,
hello,
person yes. I definitely don't know. If you look in your DMs, you will see a little conversation between someone named Tempered and someone named Dickface. I mean, sorry, Major Flash. Starting with Major Flash.
Oh, you want me to read it?
This is the wrong picture.
Well, also, when this goes out, Tempered's gonna know. Tempered's gonna be, you know, gonna be like, you know, Miller's gonna, or Blazing, like, oh, Tempered's, you know, the spy, quote unquote, and they're gonna, you know, kick him or whatever. Yeah. Really, he's trying to. We're trying to do a good thing.
All I did was go to most members and say, hey, if there's ever something that Miller does wrong, let me know. And well, this is within the last couple days, because that's how often this happens. Let me find the right one though, because that's the wrong one. That was from a couple weeks ago.
Well, we will listen to some music.
I have it right here. Alright, so I just sent you the right one. Okay, so they have to explain the situation behind this. Miller and Tempered were talking about well, actually, someone asked Tempered when there was going to be a BCT happens. Tempered said, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'll have to check on it and I will let you know. He then gets a response from Flash saying, or Flash as in Miller saying, just don't respond when they ask questions like this. Never say you don't know, it looks unprofessional. Funny coming from him. Tempered says, well, has one been scheduled? And okay. Flash, no, but just don't say don't know, just don't respond. Tempered, in retrospect, this was a bad idea. Having a slight anxiety attack at the moment, and around these times I get a bit, yeah, I'll reframe from doing that again. Just a stressful week with school and one of my friends going through a rough patch I had gone through, and I'm just giving him a helping hand. Flash then responds with, sorry, but I do not simply give a fuck.
Well, damn.
So, yeah, this is actually one of the higher ups in our unit too. Tempered. Tempered is a well-renowned J2, which is some kind of German rank. I don't remember anymore. I don't remember. Which would be the equivalent of like a squad lead, right? So these guys have quite a. They're not necessarily like officers, but they're becoming officers and they have good say in things. And just to treat one like this, just like that, even joking around, it's not okay, especially coming from the 3IC, the third in command. You can't have this kind of behavior. But that's just an example of everything he was doing. He also, quite a while ago, well, actually this was both Blazing and Miller, discharged someone for simply making memes about Miller, about him pulling rank. And the memes were fucking hilarious, yeah, and I laughed my ass on them. And they immediately discharged him for insubordination, which was stupid because the only one being insubordinate was Miller. It was pretty sad, the whole entire situation.
We got a little message in the stream chat.
Oh, awesome. What does the message say?
Shit.
What is it?
This is from your former XO.
Oh,
Blazing,
former XO.
Blazing says, tell him to read the rest of the convo.
No. There is no rest of the convo. Anyways, like I said, that's all we have to say about that. Everything in the situations and whatnot have been absolutely horrible dealing with Miller and both Blazing, because they're both Blazing, and mind if I be completely frank, passive, cuck, just overall easy to push over. Miller, fucking, let's say, what's a good word for it? Hyper aggressive, stubborn, unpredictable, and simply unprofessional at all times. Now, let's get on to the good old spy ring that was made. This is quite a long time ago, and it was never used, so that's the good part, at least. However, there were plans on making... We had a whole Discord set up, right? And this whole Discord included 123rd Tradecraft. Now, the idea behind this Discord was to get server passwords and raid people. What we were planning on doing is enlisting who was in the unit at the time. Zeus.
Okay. We just got a message with the... I guess it's the rest of the convo. I don't know. Shit. I'm just gonna read it out here. After Flash, whatever the hell his name is, too buzzed to even care, said he don't give a fuck. Temper apparently replied with, I figured that's why I said it here. Get it out to someone who won't sugarcoat shit. That helped. Thank you. That's why I like you. You don't sugarcoat anything. You say it at face value. Not too many people like that. Okay. Yeah. Shit. I guess that's it. Oh, fuck.
Okay, well that doesn't really add any fidelity to their claim at all. But anyways, as I was saying...
want me to read it out loud.
Okay, well yeah, it didn't really... I don't know what they were trying to get out of that because it didn't help.
They didn't pay me enough beer to do it.
But yeah, anyways, it's just making them look worse because they're honestly incompetent and they're stupid and retarded, which I'm gonna happily say now because I'm out of the unit and I'm out of Milsim and I don't give a fuck about what they think about me. Where was I? So 123rd Tradecraft, it was called the server, and there was plans by both Miller and Blazing to immediately get this out and start getting server passwords. We never did it because we just got bored of it and decided not to do it. But the plan was to have someone named Zeus and then Titan Ayame as quote unquote agents, which were the ones to find units and infiltrate them as different as different people and whatnot in different units. And a few targets of theirs were, of course, 7 MR, 5th MR, 1 CD for sure. Well, this is when they were 1 CD, and then they turned into 28 MR or some stupid name. I don't remember. Sorry, Whiskey, if you're watching this. I just don't remember your team's name. And then there was a few other teams that were just like there. We also had another program called the Scouts, which were to like get information from teams without actually infiltrating the team, which would be okay in Milsim manners and whatnot. They would probably go to a private and ask them, hey, what's our password or something like that, and they'd get the password that way, which is still cringy and not okay, but yeah. But anyways, yeah, their plans were to do, it never went into full thing. It was just a prototype, and it never kind of went through again. But that's all I really have to say when it comes to 123rd in the shell of a unit that it is. Just explaining everything, getting all the bad shit out of the way, considering Blazing and Miller don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's actually going downhill ever since I've been receiving a lot of screenshots from inside because people still care about me. And just showing like they're promoting people left and right. They don't know what they're doing. They've literally not even listened to me when it came to my promotion suggestions, which were going to help them immensely. But of course, since I'm a quote-unquote traitor, they didn't listen to them. So now they're just promoting people willy-nilly and getting stupid people in power, which is the reason why Miller even got in power in the first place, because of stupid ideas. But yeah, so that's about it. That's all I have. Do you have any more questions? Or I shouldn't say it because you didn't ask me anything the whole entire time. I'm just rambling on. I mean, do you have any questions?
The purpose of the stream was to get your guys' side on what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice. It's nice to actually be talked to about it.
Mm-hmm. Something needs to be done about it.
Yeah, I wish more teams would go up against 123rd and take them down, because they are not a stable unit. They are definitely not tactically advanced. Hell, fucking, I had a hour argument with Blazing, telling him he's using pre-Napoleon War tactics when it came to naval. He literally wanted to have riflemen on the deck of a destroyer to shoot at the other destroyers.
I mean,
no, you can, but it literally take literally like 5 minutes to get anybody up there.
Yeah,
I know. It's impractical.
They'll die.
It's impractical as fuck. And they just don't understand.
Standing on an ATV in Battlefield 4 while trying to shoot while that guy's driving. You're gonna get fucking killed in action.
It's just retarded how Blazing and Miller think. Blazing in general when it comes to tactics, because he has no idea what tactics are, and just everything in general, just with Miller, because he just doesn't know how to act professionally ever. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. I've dissed them enough, and I think I've ruined every single type of reputation they've had. So I mean, it's whatever.
I'm surprised that Blazing
what they
losing
deserve.
his shit. If he's listening.
Oh, he is. He's already.
I hope you're having fun, Blazing.
I don't know, but I'm having a great time in Navcom. The guys there respect me, even though I've only been there for a little bit, and it's a great time. It's honestly, it's 10 times more professional environment. It's extremely structured, and it's like the 5th MR, if to use them as a good idea. It's like the 5th MR of Halo communities, like in the way that they're structured. There's 3 branches. There's ODSTs, Spartans, and Marines, and it's pretty cool. I like it because they actually get to learn a little bit about the lore of Halo, which is something I'm into.
I just want to say this: ODSTs are gay.
ODSTs are gay. They're fucking. They're literally like they're fucking.
And to the person,
hyper
in the
fucking raid
community
team.
who I always tell that to, I know you're watching.
But yeah, that's all we have, or at least me. Jonesy, do you want to say anything more?
I mean, what do you think about Miller? What do you think should be done about him? What do you think?
Honestly, I wish Miller was blacklisted. That may make the whole entire Milsim community a lot better. But like I said, I don't see that happening, considering people aren't going to do anything about it. This is just going to go back to the way it was, and everybody's just going to forget that it happened because everybody's so scared. They shouldn't be, because all you have to do is actually use tactics, like the 27th did. The 27th used tactics, and they beat the shit out of 123rd multiple times. Same with 21st, and same with 58th, and they beat the shit out of 123rd. Anybody can do it.
Someone wanted to ask
123rd is not fucking hard to take down. They're about medium.
Yeah, we may have already discussed this, but someone wanted us to ask, well, what was the argument that caused you to leave?
Okay, so this was the first ever argument. Excuse me, not first. I just got my words mixed up. Sorry. So this was the day I was leaving, and the day I just had it. I was just done, right? So I went over this earlier in the stream, but I'll do it again for you. It was this argument between me, Blazing, and Miller, saying I was given permission to go find a friendly raid. He said, make sure it's an entire alliance and make sure it's a friendly raid, right? And I said, okay. I went to the community chat. I said, hey, Entente Alliance, are you guys down for a friendly raid at so-and-so time? And they said yes, and then they were like, okay, whatever. There's no disrespect or anything like that. It was just normal friendly raid. So then I immediately get a fucking 2 messages from Miller and Blazing saying, what the fuck are you doing? How dare you go behind our backs and shit like that, when obviously I already had the permission. I was good. I was but of course, in Blazing's mind, he thinks it's not okay to talk in the community chat, even though that's the only place you can talk to them instead of DMs. So it's whatever. It's water under the bridge right now. I'm just exposing them for everything, all the bullshit that they've been posing and doing. So, but yeah, that's the last straw that I had with them.
Alright, gents. Well, it's about that time to wrap things up.
Alright, that sounds good to me.
I've
been talking a lot.
yeah. This stream will be either up tonight. What time is it? What time? Ah, fuck it. This stream will be up tomorrow, sometime in the evening. And
yeah,
we'll make sure to get it up there.
Alright, sweet. Thanks for your time.
Anytime.
Yep, thanks.
And fuck 123rd.
Oh yeah. Mostly Miller.
Yeah, actually, excuse me. Let me restate that. Fuck Blazing and fuck Miller. There you go. That's my statement for today.
Hope you're listening, Blazing.
We're probably gonna get the stream up.
Like get mass reported or something.
Either or, we'll try.
Oh, and Mountaineer, you're amazing. He told me
Soviets.
I did.
Boo Soviets. Boo America.
Boo Soviets. Boo. I guess there's a lot of people watching the stream or something, because I've been getting a few messages.
We bought Alaska away from the Russians for pennies.
Well, as long as we're exposing the 123rd, I'm happy about it.
Yep.
Alright. Well, gents, everyone watching the stream, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for... there's no show after this. What am I talking about?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Stay tuned on our Twitter. We're going to make sure to post the links to both the Israeli stream, which we somehow
that's cool
uploaded.
As fuck.
The Israeli stream will be up, and this stream will be up. So stay tuned.